What is up, everybody? In this video, we're going to go over skepticism about my trading techniques and if they really work or not, a success story, and my prop firm trading journey. So if you're unaware, I've started a prop firm. My name is Fat Cat. This over here is Tarukin, and together we've been trading the ESE mini futures for 8 years. I am what you would consider a specialist in one product. Actually, he was born in 2020, so he hasn't been trading nearly as long as I have. But either way, Tarukin's got some experience. This specific video is going to be kind of just sitting around and relax, podcast style. So it can be a great episode to just listen to while you're doing something else. Now, the first place I want to start is skepticism, because the skepticism ties a lot of what I'm going to talk about with success and my prop traders. It's going to tie all that shit together. So I did get a comment some time ago. Keep this in mind as I read this comment. This specific person that is displaying skepticism, they're not being a hater by any means. They just sort of want to challenge the way I'm thinking. And the reason being is they've been burnt by trading gurus. I do have a video on trading gurus. If you'd like to watch it, link in the description. I think that video does go really well with this. And then also why trading courses suck. That's another good video. Check that out in the description below. That goes well with this, ties into it. So this specific person has commented a lot on my videos in the past and has been very respectful. They said, hey, just a question. Your content is amazing and gold as always. But I know you mentioned ad revenue for YouTube is bad. So I'm going to remove myself and I'm going to just show you what the revenue is on this. And this is going to be revenue per month, okay? And this is going back a year. So this is total for the year. So March ongoing, we're 11 estimated. This right here is locked in. So last month I wasn't uploading, 87 bucks. The prior month wasn't really uploading as much, 98. Now when I was really doing this, 137, 143, I was really churning out content, 155. For somebody that almost has 20,000 subscribers, it's not very good. So what you got to understand is making content is a job. I'm going to sit here and film this and edit it and thumbnail it. And I have to have the ideas and setting up the studio, the camera, the lights, all that shit. It takes time. And I enjoy doing this. It started off as passion, then it became a job, and it is something that I'd like to get rewarded for. I want to continue to get paid for my passions, and that's connecting with the community, because the community, without the community, I wouldn't want to do this. And as we go into my prop firm stories later in the video, you'll understand more of how I really do have passion for the community. Like, I never started a YouTube channel with the intention of it ever growing. It happened on accident. I just was posting shit, and I made a how to read a DOM video, and I thought, hey, I could probably explain this pretty good. And my channel started gaining traction on accident because of that. And it became fun. And then I didn't monetize the channel for the longest time when I had the ability to. And then I decided, hey, let's do that. And then I was making a little money, and I'm like, this is great. But as a content creator in 2025, ad revenue sucks. A lot of people use ad blockers. I don't fucking blame you guys. So that also hurts. And it's peanuts for the effort I put into this shit. So, you know, somebody who's saying, hey, you know, the content is gold as always, wouldn't you like it if I existed in this space and continue to provide content? And I am motivated by money. You're all traders. You're all motivated by money. Let's face it, you got into this because you want to make money. And in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with having several sources of income. I think that's a very smart play. Living below your means, not upgrading your lifestyle unless you can truly afford it, and really working for retirement. But that's some boring shit you guys don't want to fucking hear about. So anyways, he says, I know you mentioned ad revenue for YouTube is bad, so you need something else going on to make money, and you're using the trading journal, which is, it's in the description below, tradecraft.club. It's right in the description. It's my brainchild, my trading journal. And this is an essential tool for building a prop firm. So he knows that I'm using the trading journal to bring in an extra source of income. And what's interesting about the trading journal, on the main page that you just saw, there is a story of how it even became. The trading journal actually became an accident as well, because I talked to a trading journal provider for my prop firm, and they just happened to not support Sierra charts, which was a bad deal for me. And I happened to meet a coder at just the right time who offered service for me at a really competitive price, and we built out this business because I needed it. And then the journal we were building when we were beta testing it, it was good, and it made sense to actually turn it into a product. So the guy says, I know you're using the trading journal to help with the ad revenue. It just makes me slightly skeptical about your trading practices. If they really work, as I would expect someone that makes so much money trading to not be worried about revenue from videos. Sure, getting extra is always good, but just a question. And that's the thing. Creating content is a job, and it went from passion to a job to this kind of sucks because it's not very rewardful, but I enjoy doing it. And plus, I live one life. I'm going to make the most of it. That's just how it is. Go big or go home. And the journal is a tool to help you guys get better. And as this trading channel grows and you see how it's helping traders, because, I mean, if you listen to all the professional traders, they talk about the importance of journaling and reviewing. And I've used quite a few journals that I thought that they just lacked, especially in the trade tagging arena. So it's a tool to actually help the community. And it's a tool I really believe in. And it's a tool where we're seeing success. And it's a tool that other people really enjoy. And as far as like promoting content on this channel, sure, I promote like my coffee, where you can watch all my trades. All my trades are recorded in there. Almost 2 years of trades. Every trade is there. So when it comes to being skeptical about my trading, it is there. And it's not just behind a paywall. See, the thing is, it's under your nose. If anybody had taken the time to look in the description in any of my videos, you'll see there's a free Discord. If you go to the free Discord, which thousands of you have, you will see me streaming virtually every day. I've streamed virtually every day for free since January 2020 and talked my tradings. And you know who shows up? A handful of people. And the people that show up consistently for months, because it will take you months to really comprehend what I'm doing. There's been some that have been with me for years at this point. Why do they keep showing up? Why do they keep listening to me? You have the ability to talk to these traders. You guys have the ability to talk to traders who are modeling me and see if my techniques and systems work. And we're going to share a success story. But the thing is, most people aren't doing that. Thousands of people have gone through that Discord. Thousands and thousands for 4 years at this point. And I'm only getting a handful because most people don't give a shit. And I'll tell you this, the most skeptical people are the ones who do no due diligence. They haven't dug deep enough. The techniques and everything, it's under your fucking nose. And yeah, you can watch recordings. Seeing the recordings is paywalled, seeing the executions, seeing the reviews. However, you can sit there and listen to me on the hard right edge as I'm making decisions. In fact, this video behind you is one of the coffees where I was trading and coaching at the same time. From today, actually. Crushed it. All those trades just came in right there. So it's all there. And again, the most skeptical people just do not do that due diligence. And I don't blame them because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to sit there and listen to somebody for months on end until it starts to click and comprehend. So therefore, you will be skeptical. However, this one trader that mentions the skepticism, which there's an interesting spin on this. You know, the things I'm sharing with you guys now, I shared with him. I'm like, hey, this is what it is. And I guess he erased his comment for whatever reason. But he mentioned, hey, man, I'm not throwing shade your way, which respectfully, he was respectful. I mean, he's telling me that, you know, the comment is gold. I enjoy it. And then he did mention he's been consistent since December. And he does believe that trading is 80% psychology oriented. The part of my content that's really been impacting this specific trader is the psychological stuff that I've taught. So the thing is, you have to ask yourself, if this shit is working for you, the psychological shit you're learning from me, well, don't you think the source is leveraging it in their own trading? And I've sat here long enough. Wouldn't you think it's also working for me? So if this specific trader is watching this video, this is not to be disrespectful towards you. I obviously didn't say your name. However, you're not the only person in this position. And I want to address the other people out there, the skeptics. But I don't do this for those people. I do it for the guys you're about to hear about. This is who I make content for. Is the guys that believe in the vision, that see it, they're practicing, they're getting better. We've got an overwhelming amount of support with the journal. Like, people didn't just buy the journal, they are telling us how much they're supporting our vision and the work we're putting in. They're buying it because of who we are, not because it's just a business and a good journal, but because of who's behind it. And seeing that was awesome. The people that really believe in this. This is who I make the content for, not the skeptics. And I can tell you this, as this channel elevates and goes to another level, because it will, watch. It will. The skeptics are going to be there all the way till the bitter end. Because no matter what you do is not good enough, because they will not do the research or due diligence. And that goes back to the guru video that I mentioned in the description below. The biggest haters they don't relate. They don't understand what's going on. And the difference between you and me is a camera, that's it. You have bad actors in the comments section. You have bad actors in day trading Reddit, Twitter, that are not influencers. Just like you have bad actors that are also influencers. So what I want to do now is pivot to a success story that I didn't even ask for. One thing I don't do on this channel is I don't brag or talk about the successes I see with other guys to sell more coffee subscriptions or the journal at this point. I don't do that because I believe the quality of content I produce is good enough. So there's a trader that's been around for quite some time now. He's in the Discord. And so you guys know that my Discord, I only open it up once every quarter at this point. So keep that in mind. It's important for me to maintain peace and harmony in our Discord community because I'm trying to build something great. And sometimes we just have spam bots and just people trying to fuck everything up come in. And it's important for me to keep the peace and harmony. And I want people to appreciate it more. And people don't care about free shit. They really don't. And when something is more limited, they're going to make more of an effort to want to be a part of something. So there's this specific trader that's been around for a while, and he was a longtime coffee subscriber, very active in the community, and he paid me for a coaching session, which I never advertise coaching sessions, but I'll have people ask me, hey, would you be interested? And if people want to do that, I'd be like, hey, this is what it is. If you're interested, we can do it. But I never advertised it. I never wanted to coach for money. There's a lot of things that I could have done as side gigs in this realm that I just have not done. I've never been an affiliate to combines, which some channels, they make a lot of money doing that. But I don't use them. I only want to promote stuff that I believe in. And for me, coaching, paid coaching, I think it has its place. What I don't like about paid coaching is the coach gets paid, and if you fail, what does it really matter at the end of the fucking day? And I just don't like that shit. And what I'm telling you right now does lead into the payment structure of how I get paid with my prop firm. And I also want to just let you guys know that I just, at this point, I will not do coaching if somebody requests. However, this specific trader, he requested to have a conversation, and it wasn't about just trading, it was about life. He had a dilemma. He had the ability to build a business. He's a successful professional, seems to make decent money, and he had several years of money to continue trying to trade. So he had runway. And I noticed that with some of the people. Like, some of the traders that are in this have no money, and some of the traders in this are professionals that have sold a business, have some money stacked up, and they want to give this a shot. And this specific trader asked me, he's like, I have the ability to work for the next few years and make some pretty good money, or I can trade. And he says, I'm just seeing consistency. And this was quite some time ago. Probably a year or so ago, maybe a little less. And I told him, if you have the ability to make money, and it's guaranteed because some contracts with these other businesses, you need to pursue that, because trading has no guarantee. I think trading should strictly be a hobby, and you need to build a professional life or have some source of income coming in order to sort of supplement the really brutal learning curve. Because reality is it's going to take you 4 to 7 years to be able to pull this off, maybe longer. It could take you close to a decade. Some guys have been doing it for over a decade and still haven't figured it out, whom I personally met. And as a retail trader, you do not have the professional help you would get on a prop desk. You have to be your own risk manager, accountability partner, therapist, everything. And that's a very monumental task to achieve. So I told this trader, do the business route. I'm like, put this down. You can always come back later. And his dilemma was, he trades the open, but he gets so caught up in the price action that he can't focus on business. So for him, in his opinion, he's like, I can only do one or the other. So I'm like, the business route, because, it can all go away. This is a brutal way to make a living. It really is. You can blow it all out really fast if you don't have your shit together mentally. Like that one commenter said, 80% of this he thinks is psychology. I think a lot of it has to do with clarity. There's some interesting statistics we're tracking in the journal, me and all the prop firm traders, on clarity. And if traders are not clear, their equity curve tends to perform terribly. And I did write on Twitter at RealFatCat1 about clarity and confusion. If you would like to see that, I will link that article in the description of this video. That's where I think a large source of edge is coming from. So this trader decides to go the business route. And then after our call, I began to think, and then I messaged him back. I go, why don't you just trade the last hour? Because once the day is done, it's done. And you're not going to be like enchanted by the charts and want to just keep sitting here, because some of you go into chart trance where you can't get up, you can't walk away, you just trade all day long. And that's what this trader was suffering from. He's like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Get my work done and trade the last hour. Now, he's been around, I've heard from him, but I haven't heard about his personal journey in quite some time. He's been asking me questions and all that, and he just happened to have a success story that he posted out of the blue. So I want to share that with you. So this is 22 days of trading. There's his running P&L. So this is combined. He's up 10 grand. I believe he's trading 2-lot minis. It might be clarified in his post. So he's not trading many contracts. If he was trading the size I trade, he'd be up 60 grand in 22 days, which is really good. Just solid performance for 22 straight days. And the funny thing is, as I show this, I know there's going to be skeptics. You guys have the ability to talk to this trader, by the way. So he says, after making a few changes recently, I had 22 profitable trading sessions in a row. Thought I'd share the changes in case someone finds them useful. Here are the caveats. This is not trading or investment advice, okay? He says his situation is almost certainly different from yours. More on that below. And I kind of touched on that earlier. And he says he's trading his own account on AMP. So he's not doing combines. He's fully funded his own trading account. He says, prior to these changes, I was trading 4 lots. I was green overall, but my P&L swings were too crazy. So typically when I'm seeing a lot of like bigger P&L swings, you're experiencing a lot of confusion in your trading when that's happening, and you're not totally clear and you're lacking patience. And here's the thing with my Tradecraft journal. I'm able to gather statistics. So I can tell you guys why traders are actually failing. Like, I want to know why traders fail and why traders succeed. That is one of the burning questions inside of my soul that is really driving me. I want to bring data to the table that will totally revolutionize and change trading, because the statistics say, 97, 98% of traders fail, but that's not good enough. Why? What specifically is happening? And is there a formula that successful traders are following? So with the journal and my prop firm traders, I'll be able to, over the years, provide that data to you guys, so that way we know exactly what you need to do to be successful. So P&L swings were too crazy. I was spending too much time trading, often over an hour and then more for review. He says, I run a demanding business and my personal life was starting to suffer from balancing the two. So after our conversation some time ago, he started to struggle. He says, why not give up on trading and just focus on the business? He then says, I love trading too much. The traders that I think really make it in this are very relentless and persistent. And you're going to suffer mentally. You're going to hit mental breaking points multiple times in trading. And the difference between the guys that have a chance at this and the guys that don't are the ones that push through it. It's like Navy SEAL training. It's like buds. A lot of guys wash out because it's a mental mindfuck. They say it's 90% mental, 10% physical, even though it looks physically fucked up. Trading really is mental, and it is designed to break you down, I think. So he was spending too much time on trading is what he also mentioned. Keep that in mind, because he does touch on that a little bit later. He said, what I wanted, a smoother equity curve and greater reduced trading time. So if you're not aware of who I really am outside of this YouTube channel, I don't trade for very long. My sessions can be 15 minutes to maybe 2 hours max, usually averaging somewhere around an hour or so. That's it. I do not like to push it beyond that. I'm so busy because I want to build a prop firm. I got this badass journal. I want to continue to create content. I want to be a dominant force in the trading sphere because I truly do enjoy helping the fucking community. And like I said, I don't brag about this shit. Sometimes I have my little ego moments where Fat Cat is just putting on that persona, that personality, right? But right now you're having a real conversation with me where all the joking and all that shit is kind of put to the side. I let my content speak for itself. And if it resonates and you know, then you know. And also, I do like to cap my trading at about $1,000. So roughly 8 to 9 ticks is where I'm done, which isn't much. You don't need to make much to make a living, a good living on this with a little bit of size. Some of you guys are just going for way too fucking much. And this specific trader understands that because he's with me. He's been with me for years. He's watched me grow too. And that's the thing is when you're sitting there watching me trade, you'll see me have a meltdown and then you'll see me recoup from it. And then you'll see me mature as a trader. Like some of these guys in this community have watched me evolve and changed as a trader, which for them that speaks volume to them. That shows a human side of who I am, because when you look at trading legends, which I am not a trading legend by any means yet, they seem almost unhuman. But when you're sitting there with them, you start to realize how it's just a normal guy like you who has the same problems as you. And I think that's more inspirational. So this specific trader says, my dream was always to average out 2 ES points net per day. Same as me, roughly. Because he started to realize you don't need much to do well in this. Like I said, in 22 days, I mean, he's up 10 grand on his own personal account on 2 lots. Which, that's fucking impressive. He says, at first, to achieve this, the 2 points per day, I aimed to get 5 points a day, thinking I would have negative days, which would balance it out. There's going to be times where you're going to get into drawdown. It happens to me every fucking week. I fight. Sometimes I'm in 10 trades and the 10th trade actually is the one that makes me money. So sometimes you're going to fight and it's going to be more than a few ticks. So he's giving himself that buffer. So giving himself that 5-point buffer on negative days, which would help balance things out in practice. This meant longer trading sessions, because when you have to fix problems, the sessions do drag on. Like if you get blasted $1,000 right off the rip, at least for me, the session, I know it might be a long session. So this meant longer trading sessions, coming close to the goal just to slide back, etc. Granted, when I had this goal, volatility was way lower compared to now, but I can't bank on volatility always being there. So what you got to understand is he made goals because for the longest time we were in terrible volatility. Now, at the time of this recording, Trump is the president, and last time Trump was the president, we had good volatility. I don't give a fuck about your political views or how you feel about the guy. Okay. We're getting fucking volatility, and short-term traders need volatility to do well. Volatility is a blessing. Otherwise, you're grinding ticks, and that is excruciatingly challenging and very difficult to deal with. So it is a lot easier to hit monetary goals and to just crush it, and my P&L is getting bigger. If you are a coffee subscriber and you go back to when the VIX was a bit lower, you're going to see how I'm just grinding ticks and my wins are real small. And then if you look at like the recent trades, I already made the video, the last video, link in the description, $10,000. Today, $3,797 on 3 trades. One of them was only worth 2 ticks, and it was a mistake. I happened to win on it. The prior week before the $10,000 trade, I had a $5,000 trade. You know, if we go to my Tradecraft software, let's do the last week, including this week as well. Let me add commissions to this. You know, that's that big ass trade right there. And then we had another big one right here. And what's cool, this is a new feature on the Tradecraft. If I click on this, it'll actually go to that specific trade. This trade made 4,300, which is not the day I'm looking for. I need to go to the third. And between the third, it was $5,000. You know, you had a $2,000 trade right here. Going back to the main dashboard again, this is just last week and this week included. You know, you can see I was clear on 21 of the trades. 6 of them I was cycling between confusion and clarity, and 3 trades we were confused on. And if we look at those trades, actually, we can filter the entire deal. Go to confused. I bet these were losers, potentially. Which, one of them was a loser, 2 of them were winners, which that's actually pretty interesting. Now, on the main dash, this is going to be clarity versus confusion. Confusion is this red line down here. In between is the yellow. We can see how well clarity is dominating. And right here, we'll go to, this is one of my prop traders. He's about to get funding. Let's look at his statistics. There's clear in between, which is a newer tag for him because he likes how I did that. And then we'll look at confused. Same exact scenario as my equity curve. You can see confusion is killing him versus clarity. And then that's my equity curve. So clarity and confusion is really fucking important. This is where I believe edge truly is, and I will do a video on this in the future. If you don't want to wait for that, check out the Twitter post, link in the description. So going back to what this one trader says, because I'm going off on tangents in this video. I know it drives some people nuts, but that's what I do. This is just, let me have my ADD moments. He says during the low volatility environment, there were just plain skill issues and looking at too much information. So when his P&L was swinging wildly, skill issue and looking at too much shit. As I've grown as a trader, if you watch the first videos of my coffee up until now, I've really reduced a lot of shit I look at. I don't look at volume profiles anymore because volume profiles are ranges on the chart. For me, it's just pretty much pure price action. I do like to look at psych prices. I do have a video on everything I'm looking at. It's 2 videos ago. It's this video right here called How I Make Trading Decisions. Check it out. And the trade before the video before this one where I made $10,000 goes over the mind map in this. So I've really simplified stuff, even though the mind map looks like a mess. I don't look at nearly as much shit as I used to. I used to be all about correlations, but that was during a low volatility environment. Now that things have picked up, I'm strictly back on ES. So there can be a point where you're just looking at too much shit. I think a sign of trading maturity is when you kind of take a step back and simplify it a little bit. So he then proceeds to say, Fat Cat has been aiming for $1,000 net for a while now, which is just below 2 points on ES at 12 lots. Of course, in practice, the final P&L is above that. And his trading times aren't long, sometimes 20 minutes if the action is there. I figured I'd also aim for 2 points and then stop. And if I traded consistently around 10 a.m. Eastern, which I trade roughly 11-ish, 10:30 to 11:30 Central. Sometimes a bit later because now I have meetings with the developer of Tradecraft every day around that time. He said there'd be enough action to make it quick around that time. Now, there is an echo chamber in the trading sphere where everybody says the open is the best time. And now that I'm coaching a prop trader this week, I've been trading the open. And I'll say it can be pretty fucking good, but the volatility is also there the last 2 days. However, I could never fucking wake up, first and foremost. If I'm going to trade, I need to feel good. That was always been a huge problem of mine, is just not getting the sleep I need. And I'm not a morning person. I just wake up pissed off for no reason. Also, I do like coming in midday because the price action, there's more of it, and it's telling me how the day is behaving. And I can make better decisions based off of that because there's more context. So this trader is modeling me and trying to get 2 points, coming in midday roughly, which is interesting because I've never told people to actually do that. I've never advised that. He just happened to see what I'm doing and seen success and decided to model it. Then he says, my goal was to get trading to supplement my income. I want to make $300,000 to $450,000 per year from trading. In my opinion, it's certainly doable. And I know everybody wants to be a 7-figure trader, but you know, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures is nothing to scoff at either. Although you can kind of make that type of money in a professional career. And I think if you're going to get into trading, you should try to go all the way. So he wants to make $300,000 to $450,000 from trading, then double that from his business. And he says, in my opinion, I don't think it's healthy for a retail trader to rely solely on trading. But I'm no trading BSD and don't plan to be. And I agree with him that you should set yourself up in some other way to where this isn't it until a little bit later down the line. He said, there were also a host of trading issues and psychological issues to fix in real life. I almost always bet on the path of most resistance because I'm confident I can overcome them and get outsized reward on the other side. It's worked out for me in his professional life, but that does not work in trading. I can't overcome the market. I'm a humble fart in a hurricane. Just take the path of least resistance. Sounds simple, right? This was very hard for me. In real life, you can push the boulder up the hill. In the markets, it just rolls over you and crushes you. Path of least resistance, guys. You don't want to fight the market. He then says, so I went down to 2 lots and made these changes. I only look at one screen now with 3 charts. ES 30 minute, 30 second, 3 second. For me, I'm daily, 30 minute, 30 second, 10 second, 3 second. He says, that is it. At the start of this session, I look at daily. So he is using the daily. I used to look at much more stuff across 2 screens. This is a huge boost in clarity. Remember I showed you the statistics on clarity between me and another prop trader? Chances are, because he's using the Tradecraft software, his statistics, if he's tracking clarity, is going to be the same. So I think I'm on to something as far as figuring out exactly why traders are fumble fucking around. He says, I always start at 10 a.m. Eastern. If I can't because of commitments, then I often don't trade that day. There is nothing special about trading at 10 a.m. I just want to be regimented about it. I aim for 2 points a day, then stop. Typically, that's what I do. Because as you mature as a trader and get older at this, there's just so much better shit to do with your life than sit the fuck at the screens all day long. There are days where it ends up being more because you're one tick away from a daily target and then it scores a 3-point trade, for example. And sometimes I break that rule because I just feel good. And I remember one day where I was just pushing it way past $1,000. And he goes, dude, why are you still trading? And I go, because I feel good. So keep going. There are just certain days, and it's not often, where I feel really great and I just want to keep pushing. But that's not most days. Most days I just want to be done with it. He says I mentally narrate what's going on rather than projecting and trade that. I'm more machine-like. So really narrating what's happening than mentally projecting a move. Like a lot of what amateur traders do is they're like, it's a long, there's a long here, it's going to be long, but they're not narrating the price action. They're not in ebb and flow with the price action. They're not letting the market invalidate that shit or tell them there's trouble. You're so tunnel visioned and focused on a setup and it's not there. So he's not allowing that to happen, which I think is really important to understand this concept. He says he uses volume at price on Sierra charts and exit points for scalps. So if I get in a trade and see a volume curve in the direction of my trade, I will exit at the peak of that curve. This has the added benefit of auto adjusting to volatility. So he's kind of using something that I don't even use, but that's because he's maturing into his own trading identity and he's taken from me. And all good traders will borrow or take from other traders and then formulate their own trading identity, as I have. And I've shared that in my trading course review video, link in the description if you would like to watch that, on how I've formulated my trading identity. And the guys I learned from got it from somebody else. He says he takes larger trades off the 30-minute chart only. So his larger trades are coming off the 30-minute chart only. Of course, you need to look at all time frames for manage it because price action is fractal, guys. But if the 30-minute chart does not support the larger trade, then I don't entertain it. In the 10K trade video, which is the video before this one, the higher time frame is what's going to confirm bigger trades, hands down. And typically those 30-minute time frames, they take several days to set up. So he also says he practiced close enough, good enough. This is a term I coined. If the trade comes within a tick or two of target and stalls, I get out. Some of you guys try to ride the trade exactly into a tick, a specific price at target. And if it's kind of like fumbling a few ticks or a point under it, you guys just relentlessly hold it and then it comes back on top of you. In my opinion, close enough, good enough. Because price action has slop in it. So you need to account for that. He says, I do not have fixed exit points or stops. This is something else I practice. It's all discretionary depending on what's happening. Sometimes I get out aggressively. Sometimes I'll let the trade breathe if we're in a slip area. I have a video I recommend all the fucking time, and I know those of you that are frequent watchers of the channel are probably getting sick of it. Slips and reclaims. Tarukin's looking at it. It's also in the description. So slips and reclaims, he's using slips. So I always mention how important this video is. This trader understands what that price action is. And he's also doing discretionary management, which I think is important. If you put a trade on and have a stop and a target and then that's it, that's not management. You just put a trade on because expected value is always changing and shifting. And just because you get pocket aces for your first hand doesn't mean that you're going to win the pot, because if other people are betting more and you're not getting any other hands, somebody could have like a full house or some shit, or, you know, a couple of pairs and then you're beat. So expected value of price action is always shifting. That's why he's managing discretionarily. And he also bankrolls manage, which we'll get into, which is very important. He says these 22 sessions had a median session time of less than 10 minutes. So like 10 minutes a session, and he made 10 grand on a personal account. That's really good. And I know some of you guys are skeptical out there if like trading can really be achieved. I got inside guys in some prop firms you've probably heard of, which I will not share because I don't want the prop firm people who I know are listening to me know that I have inside guys and to know that I know how their operation is working. Because ultimately I am going to be competition to them. But I can tell you that trading is totally possible. There is a point where you may think it is impossible and everybody's just full of shit. That is not the case. It is totally doable. And I know people who are doing it. And it took me many fucking years, almost my entire career, to really start to see it from other guys. And it absolutely can be achieved. 22 sessions, 10 minutes, 10 grand. He says there are a few outliers where I had to fight back. 128 and 210, and then the big $2,000+ day was when I just wanted to trade and volatility was crazy. That was a 1 hour session, so we can look at that. You can see I had 2 grand here, so he just good volatility, wanted to hang out, keep going. And he did mention there were a few sessions where he was fighting quite a bit. You can see here 9 trades, and he only pulled 150. He says, again, none of this is advice, and I think my situation is different. But I would suggest everyone to, number 1, tag and journal. When you look at Formula One teams, they are constantly poring over their data, looking for minute problems that might be costing them 1/10 of a second here or 1/10 of a second there. I recognize my problem of going with the most resistance from tagging and journaling. I also discovered multiple micro adjustments to make on entries and exits under what conditions to bid versus offer versus take liquidity to get in on a trade. I'm subbing to Tradecraft today. I'm not affiliated, which this was posted 2/28. He also says if you can afford Fat Cat's coffee, then sit in his streams. Just listen to the commentary over and over. Things will click. I didn't ask for any of that shit. However, this does circle back to the skeptic in the comment section. And if he is watching this, here's a success story, and you have the ability to personally go talk to this trader. And I am pretty positive if you do your due diligence, I'm not going to put him on blast. You got to have to dig through the Discord. Come in his Discord when it opens up, find him, talk to him. And he's using a lot of my methods. And this trader put in the work and time and effort. That's the difference between a skeptic and a believer. So he's going to ramp up back to 4 lots, which I think after 22 sessions is a good thing. So I do ask him a question. I says, what about bankrolling your trades, like managing out of a loss and whatnot? So I do have a video. It is bankroll management in trading. There's another YouTuber, Varillo Trading. Just want to shout him out. This video really helped him a lot. He was really inspired. This is like one of the videos that he mentions in some of his YouTube videos. A very important video. I'm not going to go deep into this because this video does go deep into that, and this video you're watching is long enough, but basically you need to use P&L. I know the echo chamber says, hey, don't look at your P&L. That's bullshit. You do need to look at it, because if you're down and you're in a winner and you think you can squeeze it for a big win, however, where it's at right now, it's at a place where you can recoup your losses and then get a few extra dollars off of it. It's best to just take it off now, depending on how confident you are on the setup. So there's certain times where I'll take the same trade, but depending on what's happened in my P&L prior, really dictates if I'll push the trade out further versus cutting it and trying to bankroll and fix some of my losses. So I asked him about bankrolling. Are you doing it like me? You know, are you bankrolling these? He says, yes, that was part of the changes too. I had already stopped trying to make up for losses with one big trade, but the additional adjustment I needed was to be more defensive with taking profits. When I was down on the day, i.e. it wasn't enough to treat each trade automatically, but actually adjust the risk tolerance per trade to chip away at a loss. So I understand that some of you may be pretty new traders, and a lot of new traders say, dude, your shit is hard to digest. There was a study done on, I believe it was in Taiwan, on day traders and the failure rate and how most traders fail. And in that study, it does talk about the ones that were able to achieve success in day trading were very sophisticated. And it's, in my opinion, you have to be extraordinarily sophisticated in order to pull this off. This isn't some simple shit where you can just sit down and do it in a year. This trader's been around and he's sophisticated. You can tell by the way he talks. He says, e.g., if I'm up on the day in a trade and have a target that's slightly ambitious, so not to take a big trade, but maybe 3 to 4 pointer, then I'm often willing to move to break even once in the money and make peace with getting nothing. And I used to do that even when down. Now I convert trades to scalps more aggressively when I'm down. So concepts like room to breathe, willingness to take a break even, hold through jitter, etc. get adjusted depending on P&L status. Volatility helps a lot. One shitty thing about low vol is that if you happen to take a loss on a sweep, then it's harder to come back because the tight versus loose price action transitions are more rare. So in that video I mentioned earlier on how I make trading decisions, I talk about loose to tight, tight to loose. The price action always goes from loose to tight, tight to loose. This is what he's referring to right here when he talks about tight to loose. That looseness is a bit more rare in tighter volatility environments. He says, other general adjustments in case anyone's interested. Take liquidity and trade execution risk for price risk if the move is high conviction. When 30-minute looks like it's in taking liquidity mode, which is a term I use, and it's in that How I Make Trading Decision video, be vigilant about potential top or bottom ticks on the higher time frame. I also have a video on top tick, bottom ticks that will be in the description as well if you'd like to take a look at that. So he's talking a lot like I do. If there's a 30-second V flush, which is also mentioned in that How I Make Trading Decision video, if there's a 30-second V flush and the second leg of the V finishes higher than the start of the V, there's probably continuation. Be aware of all ranges on all trading timeframes. I set up the 3-second to draw little balls on the price bar whenever a 100 lot transaction occurs. This is something I don't do. This is unique to his trading identity. On extreme ends of a move, whether it's a trend reclaim, which again, I have the reclaim slip video, you'll often see a column of them, these 100 lot transactions. I call them anal beats, and he has good humor like me. This is usually a good place to take profit, and if you choose to stay in a trade, a signal to pay close attention. In value search, which I talk about value search in the How I Make Trading Decision video, watch for the market trying to fuck both sides, especially when it keeps teasing a breakout like break, slip, etc. When that finally fails, the reversals tend to be vicious. So I know a lot of what he said was like really like, ugh, in your head. But he's studied what I've done and practiced it long enough till he's hit proficiency. It's like I've roller skated for 2 years now, and I have a video, a YouTube short where on this channel where I just got into skating. I'm so proficient at it that there are certain things I can feel in my skates, and I can ride on the ragged edge of losing grip at a high rate of speed, and it's like I'm on rails. When you are proficient in trading, it's almost like you're on rails at some point. And until you've ever experienced proficiency in a highly skilled job, you won't understand what I'm talking about. Now, if you game a lot and you play a video game and you're really good at a specific game, then you'll have an idea of what I'm speaking about. So a lot of what he just talked about that seemed very sophisticated was trade management, which trade management is the hardest aspect of trading, because ultimately you're putting a trade on and then off. And that's really dictating if you're making money or not. And you have to actively be managing trades, in my opinion, to be good at this. And he's a sophisticated trader. And it's funny because when I have like haters or somebody throwing shade in the comments section and they talk about what they're doing, you can just tell, even if they try to make themselves sound sophisticated, you can tell they just don't have nearly as much experience as At least as I do, because you can just tell by the way people talk. At least I can. I can tell by the way people speak in the comment section, kind of where that skill level is and the understanding of what trading is. So I go, okay, so this is me. This is what I respond to him. I go, see, you're always trying to roll your equity curve up like me with bankroll management. For me, it's important to keep the equity curve going up. It's not always important to hit the biggest trade or whatever. It's important to always be locking in wins, which I find interesting because I don't really know of anybody else doing this other than him. So for me, this is an interesting thing that might turn into something in the future that really dictates if this is what it does take to be a professional trader that can actually do this. I say watching P&L is important for proper management. The general consensus was always telling everyone not to look at it, as I explained to you. Focus on the next good trade. That's what everybody says. Focus on the next good trade. Don't look at P&L. But the next good trade and the way you manage it is based off P&L, in my opinion. Always trying to roll the P&L upwards. Then he gets back to me, and this is the last paragraph. He says, yes, I adopted that line of thinking from you. My opinion is in order to make this work, it requires decent win accuracy and the ability to read micro price action. I preach so much about reading micro price action on this channel. If your style is 30% win accuracy with outsized winners making up for everything, then you can ignore all of this and just keep doing what you're doing. But if you're super discretionary, as I imagine most of us on this Discord are, then a good 60% accuracy helps chip away losses. I struggle to explain my thinking on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at my overall win percentage. I haven't put today's trades in, which were 3 wins, but P&L raw, I have out of 477 trades, that's how many trades I've taken since Tradecraft has been conceived. Just relentlessly trading. I've been putting in every day. If we actually look at the raw P&L curve, let me take off the markers and go from trade number to date. November 5th. And every time you see a move in one of these cells, like if you see a flat spot that's like a weekend or a few days I didn't trade, obviously there's going to be like Christmas break, Thanksgiving. But every time you see it jitter, those are days I've traded. So consistently using this software. So 477 trades, 65% win rate. My average P&L is only $301, but I think that statistic is really not telling you the truth. I think average trade P&L is kind of a bullshit statistic, but that's for another video. So he then says, again, I'm going to reread this. He says, if you're super discretionary, as I imagine most of us in this Discord are, then a good 60%, and he's putting a question mark, accuracy helps chip away losses. So I'm running 65%. I struggle to explain my thinking on this. Like this scenario. I'm down on the day. So this is a hypothetical scenario. I'm down on the day. There's a reclaim trade that's worth 3 points given today's volatility. I'm confident about it. I get in, and it's immediately in the money for a few ticks and stalls. Now what? And it's at this juncture where the state of my P&L influences my decision because perhaps my conviction in it hitting mid is high. So he means on the reclaim, is it going to take all of the reclaim or half the reclaim? So when he's referring to mid, he means the midpoint of the reclaim. So again, it's at this juncture where the state of my P&L influences my decision because perhaps my conviction in it hitting mid is high, but given current price action, maybe I'm not so sure about it reaching the other side, going all the way across the reclaim. So I tell myself that if it hits mid and doesn't rocket through, I'm out. Whereas if I were up on his P&L, then I'd hold it through the potential stall and pullback. So depending on how the price action reacts on that reclaim and the state of his P&L dictates how he's going to manage that trade. So this is what makes trading more sophisticated than you think is setups are going to be dictated based off P&L because in the end you have drawdown. You only have so much money you can lose. And you want to keep assuring yourself that you're going to live to have another day and keep rolling your P&L up because it fucking adds up. Trust me. He says, volatility also has a huge say in all this. Right now, it feels like a feast. So at the time of this recording, it's really good. But famine is always around the corner. That is fucking right. And this way of thinking just might save me. Bottom line is that if you have a good win rate and clarity on read, remember I talked about clarity. This is how I think, I'm pretty sure he's using this statistic in his Tradecraft journal as well. Then the opportunities to score a bunch of minor wins are plenty. First, waiting for that score that puts you back in the green. So if you're a good scalper, but you get blown out on a bigger trade, you can really scalp your way back to green versus hitting the big win. The exception is that if you intend to trade all day and you're willing to wait for it to come around the corner. I can sit down and trade virtually anywhere, and obviously he's doing 10-minute sessions roughly on average. He has that skill set as well. He says, these are just my thoughts on this, and really these are your, and he's talking to me, thoughts processed by me, which he's really comprehending what the fuck I'm saying, which I think I've lost most of you in the video. But to the skeptic in the beginning, this is an example of somebody that has taken the time and is applying it and is having success. And he's speaking exactly like I speak. So the next order of business I want to talk about is my prop firm. So I have two videos. This one called Fastest Way to Consistency 6 months ago, and Proprietary Diaries Infrastructure 5 months ago. These are the last two videos where I really talked about my prop firm, and building out the journal was really important. So if you've watched those videos, they will be in the description below. However, building the journal was a main focus because I need statistics to help my traders get really good. And some of you, this may be new information, and you may want to know, how do I become part of your prop firm? You got to join the Discord, but the Discord is not going to open up till I posted it. So this video is in the description below. Discord will be open April 2025, in a month at the time of the recording. So some of you guys want to know, how do I join the prop firm? When you do join, you're going to want to go to Wave 2, which here is the Discord right here. You're going to want to go to Wave 2 Backup Traders. And like these guys, you're going to want to be consistently posting what you're doing. I would really prefer you use Tradecraft, not because I built it and it's my fucking product. The thing is, my prop traders, I give them Tradecraft for free. However, I'm building a master dash and I want to read all your statistics here. You don't have to use it if you want to use spreadsheets or whatever. I just need to see some fucking work. So there's one trader here named Chronic. You can see he messaged me. He was posting relentlessly, like the amount of work he was posting just consistently. And he was diagnosing his problems, just posting shit. And I'm not responding to him. And I need to see the work. The minimum I need you guys to do is you need to be tagging, reviewing, recording your trades. Recording it. And we got a sweet fucking feature that is about to be executed tomorrow on the Tradecraft software. Go to the Tradecraft website sometime in the next week or two. There will be a tutorial on it, but I'm integrating YouTube into the Tradecraft software to where every time you look at one of your trades, if you're recording the YouTube unlisted, because I record my sessions to YouTube, it's a great way to free up storage on your computer. The Tradecraft software, every trade will have the video embedded, and it will timestamp in the video where your trade is. So on the Tradecraft software, you're going to be able to watch your trade without going to YouTube, looking for that date. You're going to be able to go to the trade, click on the trade, watch the video like that. Whatever trade you want to see. You can use OBS, which is a free open source software that streamers use to record your sessions to YouTube. You got to be doing that. You got to be reviewing those sessions. You need to be journaling and tagging, okay? And you need to be posting consistently in the Wave 2 backup. The more work you're putting in, the more you're diagnosing yourself, the more you're talking about shit, the more I see you really attempting to put in the work to improve. I don't care if you're the shittiest trader in the world. If you're doing the work, you're going to get better. I do like guys with a little more experience that have been around the block because they know what trading really is. But that's not a requirement, and you got to really want it. And I only got 2 guys in Wave 2 right now that are doing it out of thousands of guys. So to me, most people don't want it. However, Chronic was doing it. So I'm like, dude, I love this shit. You're going to be part of the team. So currently there's 4 traders on the team. I'm waiting for my master dash to get built in Tradecraft because I'm going to be monitoring them live in the session. So when your emotions are flaring up, I'll pattern interrupt you, which I'll be talking about my sessions with Chronic here in just a moment. Before I get into that, I do want to mention that the split is 50-50. So I do have a video where I talk about online prop desks. This is the future desk. They're my money partner. I am not an affiliate to them. I don't make money from the sale of their product. However, they've been a part of my community for a really long time. They know who I am, and I needed funding because we were going to use online props. They're willing to work with me, cut me a deal, and they're willing to separate the pay from my 50% to the trader's 50%. I remember when I talked about this in one of those videos I mentioned earlier, somebody's like, oh, 50%'s a bad fucking deal. I need you to understand this, what you're getting specifically. And I need you to put yourself in my fucking shoes. So I don't get paid unless you're getting paid. Like I said earlier, if a coach is making money up front, then what does it matter if you pass or fail? Your performance is being dictated by my performance. The better I perform, the better you perform, the more we both make. And you're not paying coaching up front, and you're getting a shitload of my time. So with Chronic, I'm sitting there, and today he had a 100% win rate, by the way, and I kept him out of some really bad trades. Like, I'm watching him, and some of you may also know that had these hypnosis sessions, hypnosis part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. There's a playlist. You should check those out. I'm using a lot of hypno breath work, hypnosis sessions. He got a custom session recorded for him that he listens to at night. We do hypno breath work. We do visualizations. Anytime as his emotions are flaring up, I immediately pattern interrupt him in the trading session. And then I spend some time getting his heart rate down. And I had to do it multiple times today. And we got a 100% win rate. Like, I am with you. Unlike other coaches that are just there, once a week or whatever the fuck. I don't think that's good enough. Because if you look at professional sports teams, the coach is with them the whole time. That's what I think it takes to really get you guys to a level that nobody else can get you. So with that being said, obviously I cannot take on very many guys. So as we continue to grow, this is going to be fiercely competitive. And if you do the work and I never choose you, at least you're doing the fucking work and you're doing yourself a favor. And the thing is, like, I have another video here called New Trader Psychology. Does it even matter? You need to go watch this one right here, because in that video, I talk about how P&L swings and price action patterns, very specific price action patterns, creates issues. Like, FOMO is not one size fits all. Chronic, he's trading mostly to the long side, and he just has this habit of when the market shoots down, he's trying to catch the knife for a quick reversal. And today he was just long. And if you know what happened today, 3-4, 20-25, it was a down day. The last trade was a short. We'll actually go to his trades today, which he did all of his review, which is really good. So you can see this is our session together. Long. And then finally I got him to do a short. And then here's the YouTube integration, which isn't fully working quite yet. You can see how he has it in there, which is pretty sick. And it's coming on every trade. It might be working here. Yeah, actually it is. There's one of his trades being put on. So what I spoke about earlier, it's happening in the journal. So he has specific issues. Like, again, like him trying to get into a long over a short. Like, if we go down here, we can see his longs versus shorts. I mean, most of his trades are longs. And the problem is, like, certain traders, it's like using your right hand to write with versus your left hands. A lot of us are right hand dominant or left hand dominant. I think it's imperative you develop both, and no different than long shorts. Some of you guys have a hurdle in your brain where things get twisted up, and shorts just kind of hurt your brain versus longs. And that's something with Chronic. So that does induce FOMO. So when people say FOMO, it's not all the same. So having him visualize that he is a good trader on the short side is something I need to train into him, because I'm putting him into hypnotic sessions during a trading session, and I'm communicating to his subconscious mind, and I'm brainwashing him into becoming a trading machine. And this is something I don't think anybody else is doing. There's the secret sauce. So that's what I'm doing that I think is going to allow us to dominate. Obviously, this is all a big test for me. To the skeptics out there, we'll see how this goes. But to the skeptics watching this right the fuck now, I achieved this shit, which I promise you, I'm going to relentlessly pick at this for the rest of my trading career until I do. And then we'll see what you have to say then. But I'm pretty sure I can do this. This is why our splits are so high, because this is like the coaching you fucking need. You have another pair of eyes on the price action, because there were a few trades where I'm like, dude, just don't put that on. Because I knew for a fact he was going to get blown out, and I saved him on several trades. And then I had him drill because the volatility was too big. He's not used to large volatility. He struggled, and I told him he needed to make adjustments in management. So we drilled him at first, and then he crushed it. And if everything goes well tomorrow, he will be fully funded and will be trading live after tomorrow. And my intention is to get him to 7-figure trading. And you as a retail trader, there is a good chance you're not going to be able to get to 7-figure trader on your own. Chances are most of you that are going to achieve consistency aren't even going to make enough to cover minimum wage. That's the reality of it. So I think you really do need a team and somebody in your corner. And even though we have a high split, he's going to walk away with more, and I'm speculating this, but he's going to walk away with more than some of you would that are very greedy about the splits. So would you rather have more and have a higher split, or have a less but have a lower split? So, and also my master dash is not done on the journal, and he happened to buy this account, and he did it out of the goodness of his heart. He wanted to be ready. He wants to do this. He believes in the vision. Some of you are like, well, what if the trader leaves? Well, I watch you guys. I can tell if somebody's not about this. And when I got a guy that really displays the type of loyalty Chronic does, and the vision and the hunger for it, he wants to be a part of something good. He wants to be part of prop. He wants to be on a team. He wants to build something with me, and he wants to be one of the first guys to go through this. Because the guys that get in early, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty for most of you out there, but the guys who get in on this shit early, any business really, they reap the most rewards down the line. If you got in with Steve Jobs early in Apple, you're going to reap the rewards versus getting into Apple now. If you get into Apple now, you're just a cog in the wheel. So he's been trading this futures desk account, and he's like, hey man, I'm going to pass this. I really need your help. And I go, oh, fuck, I'm not ready to officially start this. Our tools aren't done. So I got thrown into it, and we've been doing it for 2 days, and we're just doing the best we can. So the prop firm, even though the tooling isn't matured yet, because I think we still have a good 4 months on it, because there's features I really need, we're doing it. And I'm going to be sharing the journey, obviously. I haven't shared anything on this in a long time, and there's a reason for that, which I've explained. Alrighty guys, it's been a long video. I hope you enjoy that, a different flavor type of video. I know some guys out there enjoy these really long ones, and until the next one, which is going to be coming at you pretty quick because I'm doing an aggressive marketing strategy for the journal, I'll see you guys very soon, and until then, I'll see you next time.